You're watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and Up here. I want to take a very quick break. When we return, we'll be taking you also to the Western region, tell you what's been happening there. Some demonstration ongoing at one of the mining companies, and they're asking for the ownership, identity of the ownership of the mines, which was sold a couple months back. We'll also tell you the exciting news about Clean Ghana campaign, which is back with a bang, if I could put it that way. We want to keep Accra clean. We'll tell you all about it right after this. Do stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. Now I'll take you to the Western region. Over 700 mine workers at Future Global Resources, formerly Golden Star Mining at Prestia in the Western region, are demonstrating in demand to know who the actual owners of the mining, or the actual new owners of the mining firm are, since it was sold out last year by Golden Star Resources. Senior Staff Union Secretary Samuel Kumi Menu, who has been speaking to Joy News, says they are not going to work until they receive the answers they're demanding from management of the firm. And Natalia Kwanza is joining me via Zoom. But first, let's hear from one of the employees.
Workers of Bogosu Prestia Mines, which was originally owned by GSR. As it is of public record, last year, 1st October 2020, the mine was sold to FGR, that's Future Global Resources. As we speak now, we can't find the leadership of Future Global Resources. We don't know where Glenn Baldwin, who is the CEO of Future Global Resources. Along the line, we have received memos from a company known as Blue International Group, who claim to be the ultimate beneficial owner of the mine. Now, we are confused as employees. We don't know who really owns the mine, who actually bought the mine from GSR. So one of the reasons we are demonstrating this morning is to find from leadership who actually owns this mine. Is it GSR, is it FGR, or it is Blue Holdings? It is one of the reasons why we are demonstrating. Secondly, we also want to know how much in terms of investment that the new owner is actually investing in the company, because 9 months along the line, we have not seen any form of investment in the company. And we see the company fortunes dwindling day by day. Our productions are going down. So we want to know how much in terms of investment the ownership of the mine is really putting into the company, so that the company will become a viable one. Because as concerned employees of the mine, we don't want the company to collapse in our hands.
As the Senior Staff Association's secretary there, Ina is joining me. Ina. Hello, Ina. Ina,
hello, Gifty.
Give us a background to this particular story. They talk about GSR and the sale of the company subsequently. Put it all together for us briefly.
Okay, Gifty. So we would all recall that in October 1st last year, that is 2021, Golden Star Resources sold its Bogoso mine to Future Global Resources. So from last year, they have been the owners of the mine per records. And then we understand from last year that the employees and everyone was, they sold the company plus its employees with it. So the employees did not have opportunity to sit down with this Future Global Resources and then sort of have tete-a-tete with them and agree on whether their payment plan and all that. So that is how the process has been. So from Golden Star Resources in October 1st last year to Future Global Resources. But while we heard from the union secretary there that they've been kind of confused because another company, which is Blue International, is claiming that they are the beneficiaries of the company. The union members who spoke to me told me that now they do not know the actual owners of the former Golden Star Resources, now Future Global Resources. So this is the issue at hand.
So from the pictures and the videos we are seeing, it looks like today there was no work at all.
No work at all, Gifty. As at 2 p.m. when I spoke to them on phone. They said they were still demonstrating, and then they are not going back to work until they receive the answers they want. They want to know who are the actual owners. Though publicly, we all heard that it was sold from Golden Star Resources to Future Global Company. They feel that with the memo they have received from Blue International, they need explanation as workers because they are stakeholders of the company. So they are not working from today till they get the appropriate answers they need.
Just a quick one before you go. Do we know how long this protest has been going on, or did they just start today?
They started today, though over the months you hear them say, oh, they are going to do demonstration. I mean, you hear we are going to demonstrate, but today they started officially.
Thank you very much. Natalia Kwanzaa is our correspondent in the Western region, bringing us up to speed on what's happening there. So we want to hear from the leadership of the organization and get the answers that the staff, agitating staff, are seeking. I have David Johnson joining us via Zoom. Hello, David.
Can you hear me?
Hi, David. I can hear you. David, I assume you're the corporate affairs manager.
I am, that's correct.
Yes. Okay, so David, let's begin with your initial response to what is happening on your mine site right now.
Well, I'm in Accra, and I've been getting updates from time to time from the site. My understanding is that the general manager of the mine has spoken to the workers at the Bogoso site, and currently speaking to, well, we actually have two sites. We have the Bogoso and the Prestea, and have spoken to the workers at the Bogoso site. My understanding is that, you know, they've gotten an understanding of issues, and he's currently in a meeting with those at the Prestea site. The general manager actually met with the leadership of the union on Monday, and some of these issues came up, and he provided explanations. So it was a bit surprising that, you know, the workers, as it were, laid down their tools this morning. And so when the general manager engaged them, their response was that they were not satisfied with the responses that their leaders brought. So we were not too sure whether it was an issue of, you know, miscommunication between the leadership and, you know, the entire unionized workforce, or, you know, there was something else. So one of the suggestions was that if the leaders were not providing, you know, the feedback to them, maybe they should consider either broadening the leadership so that, you know, the information will be able to flow much more effectively. But
let me just break down the concerns that they have raised and see if you can help us. And I'm certain that they're probably monitoring this conversation, if that gives them the release that they're seeking. So right now, how do we call this the company? Is it Future Global?
Actually, the general manager has spoken to them.
Right.
If it has to do with the workers, the general manager has spoken to them.
Very well. But how do we refer to this organization? Is it Future Global because they're talking about another Blue International group that's coming up? So what's the ownership? What's the clear up the issue about the ownership for us?
Well, FGR Bogoso Prestea Limited is the legal name for the entity that took over from Golden Star Resources.
Okay.
Now, FGR Bogoso Prestea Limited is owned by Blue International. So that's how Blue International comes into the, you know, the conversation.
Okay. And so where from this Blue International group?
Well, it's actually Blue International Holdings. So you would say Blue International Holdings or Blue International Group because the company actually has other, you know, other projects in other countries, in Sierra Leone, for example. And so that's why it's a group. And then the mining arm of it is, you know, FGR Bogoso Prestea in Ghana.
Okay.
Blue International Holdings, Blue International Group is the same.
Okay, one of the concerns that they've raised is that the company is just about 11 months old. They're concerned that the company has not made any investment into the company right now. And as workers, they are concerned about the future with this organization, and they want to protect that future. They're saying there has been absolutely no investment, and that the company that has taken over could easily liquidate their shares and bring back debt to the Ghanaian government.
Well, that will not be the case. We need to understand that when you purchase an asset, it takes a while to actually, understand the operations of the assets, how efficient, the operations are. You don't go from day one, pumping money into it. You want to be sure that, the money is not going into a sinking hole. So it's important that you spend some time to look at operational efficiencies before you make any investment, because you also want to protect the investment that you're making, and you want to be sure that if there are any holes, those holes are blocked, and ensure that you have operational efficiency. So that's the process in which we are at this stage.
Regarding investment, they are talking about how their production is going down. Could you give us figures to discount this claim that production keeps going down at the mine?
I would not be able to give you exact figures. If I knew these were coming up, I probably would have gotten some from site. But what it is that you need to be sure. I mean, when the company took over, one of the things that it did was to change the mining method. And that is one of several changes that need to take place before you can actually make the investment that is required. Fact of the matter is that the company has been making losses for the past 3 or so years. So it's nothing new. The fact that it's not doing great is nothing new. What it is that a decision has been made to transform the company, and to be able to do that, we need to make sure that the mining method is correct, that operational efficiency has been secured, before you go ahead and make the investment. And once you make the investment, obviously, you're going to get increased production, and going forward, you'll be able to break even and make profit. But it's important that that first phase is done, and is done right.
Out of curiosity, why does a company that's made losses for the past 2 or 3 years, get acquired by another organization? It obviously means that the company is willing to put in more money, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the issue of putting in more money is not in question. The question, I believe, is when do you put in the money? Do you put in the money when you haven't convinced yourself that you have an efficient operation, or you put in money from day one, not being sure, where that money is going. Okay. And so, yeah, putting in money is critical, but it's also important for the investors to have the comfort that this money is actually going to go into the operations and will turn it around.
You talked about transformation or transforming the company after the FGR took over. Does transformation mean, by any chance, laying off of workers?
No, not at all. So part of the deal was that no person will lose, their job as a result of the takeover.
Will they have to reapply, or it's just straightforward? It's just the company has been bought, but you're part of the team. We just move on.
We just move on. Yes.
Do they have this understanding, the workers?
I believe they did. Yes.
Right. Well, I will just leave it here for now, Mr. David Johnson. Thank you very much. I believe I had another question, which is just lost out on me at the moment. But as you said, the general manager is engaging these agitating workers. Now that they didn't work today, and we're told that they will not work subsequently until their concerns, the questions that they have are answered. Are you hopeful that they'll be working tomorrow?
Yes, I do believe they will work tomorrow. I do believe they will get all the answers that they require. And it's unfortunate that it's come to this point, because a lot of the questions were actually answered on Monday when the general manager met with the leadership of the union. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon and for explaining the issues for us. David Johnson is Corporate Affairs Manager with FGR, that's Future Global Resources, which took over the Bogoso Prestia Limited and also Golden Star. Well, the staff have been agitating. We'll see what it and how it ends up tomorrow. As Mr. Johnson says, they're hopeful they will be working tomorrow.